Fucker, you tried.
I tried. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Butterscotch Caramels, episode 7, volume 7. We're going over some of the fringe flavors today that, lady loves them. But yeah, we'll go over. It's going to be a long series. Yes, it is, but it's going to be useful, I think, to many. And remember, these rankings in this there's a few things that you got to remember here today, and then we realized it when we're recording the notes. Um, the ranking here is based upon, for one, its accuracy to its name, and also for the series. Remember, this is a caramel and butterscotch series, so we're looking for that sweetness level, all that gooiness, and all that kind of thing. Even if it's a French flavor, we want some accuracy to it. So there's a couple here that might actually, if they're categorized a different way, might rank better. We realized that today for the first time that saw a major difference. But anyhow, yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna go worst to first, and let lady. You have a lower one than I do, don't you?
I
I
have a
got a
2.
3. Yeah, then it's you.
Is the RY4 from Flavorah. I gave this one a 2 out of 10 because there is no caramel sweetness. It's just a mild leafy tobacco. And it's not a bad tobacco by any means. It's very usable, but it's not an RY4, so I couldn't give it a higher rank, which I would
This
have
is
if it was only a tobacco.
this is the one that brought it up, by the way. RY4 Flavora mixed at 1%. It's straight up sweet, wet, leafy pipe tobacco. Not a lot of caramel notes here, but the tobacco present is very authentic. Unfortunately for this series, lack of caramel knocks its ranking down. If it was just based on tobacco flavor, it'd easily be a couple points higher. I actually gave this a 5 of 10. I still think it's a decent tobacco, and there's some sweetness there, just not really caramel sweetness. So, yeah, I gave it a 5 of 10 because it's still not a bad tobacco, and it's still got some sweetness, just not the caramel. But
Right. Like I said, I would have given a much higher rank if it was a tobacco
yeah,
tasting, but it's
if you're looking for a sweet, wet tobacco, this would be a much higher rank. But for this series, unfortunately, it doesn't really hit that RY4 vibe that most RY4 flavors have. So it's still you.
the next one I have is a 4. I thought you said you had a 3.
Oh, I have a 3. I do have an RY4. RY4 Flavour Art for me. It mixed at 3.5%. Sweet leafy bell pepper, 3 of 10. Unfortunately, that bell pepper taste is in this one. It's not as bad as some others. I mean, it could have almost made a 4, but I don't get much of a true caramel, off of this one either. But maybe it's just covered by that bell pepper taste for me.
I actually did give this one a 4 out of 10. I got a super dark caramel with wet leafy tobacco, and it's pretty bitter tasting, but I didn't get the bell pepper from it like Tim did, so.
It's interesting how palates work because we have realized that bell peppery taste seems to make it like a darker flavor for you, and that it does have that weird bite to it. But I think that's what the bell pepper is for me. Anyhow, yeah, go ahead and go with your 4, and I got a 4 too.
My other 4 here was well, there's 2. I got the Dulce de Leche from Flavorah. The caramel is too dark and a bit overcooked tasting, and that takes away from the creaminess of like the milkiness part. I'm just getting like a super dark caramel.
Okay, Dulce de Leche Flavora mixed to 1.5, sweet 1.5%. Slightly sweet butyric caramel cream, 6 of 10. I didn't think it was all that bad. It's just slightly butyric, which could easily be covered in a mix. For me, it wasn't a bad flavor. There are better ones out there we've already tested, but it's not bad.
Okay. My other 4 here was the salted caramel natural from Wonder Flavor. I gave this one a 4 out of 10. It's got slight saltiness, which is nice. And the caramel is really good and is creamy, but there's something off in there. Like I almost tasted like a tobacco.
That's
Not
weird. I
quite,
guess
but
something
almost.
similar. Natural caramel salted Wonder Flavors mixed at 1.5%. Slightly salty, slightly bland caramel cream. I mean, it's not as caramelly as I would like it to be. And there is a bit of a slight, almost tobacco off note. A soft astringent note leads you to that kind of, it's got a little bit of a, like an astringent note that kind of leads you to like a leafy flavor, but not quite a full leafy flavor. It's okay. I gave it a 5 of 10. It's all right. I prefer their SC. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So yeah. And that's it for you, Forrest, for you?
Yes.
All right. I have one. Caramelized tobacco SSA. Super Sobucky Super Aromas. 2% mixed at. Bright hay flavor with subtle caramel notes. A bit of a throat hit to it as well. 4 of 10. I mean, you could use it, but for me, it just isn't quite, it's too hay for me. Like full on hayfield chewing on a stick of hay for me to really love it. But if that's what you're looking for, it could work. So that's why I gave it a 4.
I gave this one a 5. I got a burning leafy pipe tobacco with some sweet caramelized notes.
Okay. Then we're on to fives. Go ahead.
That was my first 5 there was that caramelized tobacco.
Right.
Let's see. We will do the Rick Sugar Daddy cinnamon. All right. I only gave this one a 5 because this is one of those ones that the cinnamon in it kind of killed me. Um, it's a really good tasting flavor, but if you have that sensitivity, just FYI, you probably want to stay away from this one. But it's just a nice, sweet cinnamon.
Yep. TBV SugarDaddy Cinnamon Ricks mixed at 1%. Sweet candied mild cinnamon simple syrup. 6 of 10 I gave it. Um, it's pretty good, but I'm also not super sensitive to it. And I found the cinnamon to be kind of mild, but it is that kind of almost like rich cinnamon, like that real dry, like cinnamon. So I think that's what's hitting your throat worse. It's not one of those candied cinnamons. You seem to do better with them.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the cinnamon Danish swirl I can tolerate, but that's pretty much it.
All right. Uh, any other fives? Because the other one fives I had was RY4 Flavorah was a 5 for me. The natural caramel salted Wonder Flavors was a 5 for me. And that, well, I got another one, but do you have any more fives?
Yep. The dark caramel super concentrate from Wonder Flavor, I gave this one a 5 out of 10. It is a dark caramel flavor with slightly overcooked notes. If it wasn't for
Yep.
that slight overcooked, it probably have been higher, but
Caramel dark SC from Wonder Flavors mixed at 1.5% wet brown sugar. Not really pulling in the caramel vibe for me. It's definitely like wet brown sugar to me. 5 of 10. I could use this, but unfortunately, it's another one that lacks a little rank because I don't get caramel out of it. I mean, I could use this, but I wouldn't use it for a caramel. I'd use it for possibly a brown sugar note. And that's it for fives for me.
yep, the rest of mine are all 6s.
Yep. Which, by the way, we already talked about. You just said the Sugar Daddy, Rick's Sugar Daddy was a 6 of 10 for me. Other than that, I think we are all set. I have one myself, and go ahead.
Okay, so let's see. Let's start with the Butterscotch Malt from OSDIY. I gave this one a 6 out of 10. It tastes more like a super buttery caramel to me with a nice malted bakery note.
Butterscotch malt, OSDIY mixed at 6%. Butterscotch with a slight kick to it. There's a little bit of a, you know how some butterscotches kind of have that little bite like to them they're supposed to. And the malt is 100% there. It's definitely a malt to this. 7 of 10. It was pretty accurate to what it was supposed to be for me. So I give it a 7.
Okay.
And did you have any more sixes?
Yep. The Butterscotch from Flavorah. I gave this one a 6 out of 7. or 6 out of 10, sorry. I get a sweet, smooth butterscotch with slight candy notes.
Butterscotch Flavorah mixed at 1.5%. Rich butterscotch. It's a nice, rich, decadent butterscotch. 7 of 10 for me.
And last but certainly not least, the hard crack toffee from VTA. I also gave this one a 6 out of 10. It's a dark, rich toffee with some slight burnt hard edges. Like not bad burnt, but like that good kind of burnt around the edge toffee taste. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hard crack toffee VTA slash impact flavors. 0.8% mixed. Darker cooked, smoked, slightly burnt, kind of cooked. Sweet toffee, very accurate to the name, 7 of 10. Feels like we completely flipped because I have one left and that's my 6, and that must be your 7.
Huh?
We have one left. You didn't do Dulce de Leche.
From Flavorah?
Flavor. Did we do that already?
Yeah, that was one of the first ones. That was only a 4.
Oh, okay. Dulce de Leche was a 6. Okay. Other than that, like all your 6s were my 7s, but they were the top ranked. So yeah, hard cracked toffee
Yeah.
was your top for the day.
Yep.
All right.
I
See
mean,
that.
I gave them 6s because I know that there's some ones I like better, so I want to give room. You know what I mean?
So for the
Of
purposes
even the better
of
ones.
this series, there's a reason why these are ranking differently than they would maybe say just as like an RY, like as a tobacco or whatever, because they got to specifically have that butterscotch caramel sweetness note. It doesn't, I mean, or accuracy to the name, and that matters for this type of series. That doesn't mean they're always going to be a horrible flavor, but I mean, if it's getting a 3, I'm not going to recommend it, period. If it's a 4, you might be able to use it. Fives, decent. Sixes, a little better than average. And then it gets a 7, that's probably close to about as perfect as it's going to get. Very few are going to ever get an 8 from me. But yeah, I think that that'll do it for this episode. And yeah, it was actually not a bad one. Like I only had one that I really didn't like. And that was just because I get that off note in there that many people do get, that bell pepper off the Flavour Art flavors. And this one gives me a little bit of it. And it's not as bad as some, but it's there.
I mean, I had one that I really, really didn't like, as you could tell by the two, but that is not an RY4. It is a tobacco.
Yeah, that's
It's
always
not that
been,
I didn't like it because it's a tobacco, but it would have ranked higher as a tobacco.
yeah, it's a good tobacco, but it's not truly an RY4, at least by standards of every RY4 you've ever tried. RY4 is typically known for caramel notes, and there really isn't much for caramel notes at all in the Flavor RY4. Anyhow, that'll be it for today. Tune in next week. We'll have some more butterscotch caramels to go over, and or butterscotch caramel extravaganza flavors to go over because we are getting those fringe flavors like the hard crack toffee, which actually was very good. So
Which
we'll see
it's
you.
supposed to be butterscotch, caramel, and toffee, so that's not an offshoot. That's an actual flavor that it's supposed to be, but okay.
All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.